Welcome to Nana's. I'm Nana, Shelly Carlson, and I'm glad you're here. Today we're going to do a how to draw tutorial about how to draw a handy dandy pencil, which is actually a long, narrow cylinder, and we'll draw it in several different positions. It'll be step by step, follow along, stop the video whenever you need to complete a step. All right, so hey, let's go have some fun. So are you ready to learn how to draw a pencil? We're going to use a pencil to draw a pencil. There you have it. So our supplies are very simple. We need some drawing paper. I have a sketch pad that I use. You might want a pencil sharpener, a regular pencil, and I am going to be shifting over probably to some more technical drawing pencils pretty soon, but for right now I'm just using a number 2 pencil like you would take to school. So we're going to draw the typical school pencil, the yellow number 2 pencil, and it's fairly new, so it has a nice big eraser, and that is helpful in what we're going to be doing, as well as having a good point to it. So, and I also have my trusty eraser as well, which is handy to have. I use it a lot. I wear it out on my pencil right away. So the first thing I want you to do is just look at a pencil. It is a cylinder. We've drawn cylinders before, and I've got a link below for you to check out if you'd like to review that, or if you're new with our How to Draw series. But it is a tube, a cylinder. Now most of the cylinders that we drew were up and down, and things like a can or a cake. We did a cake, I know, that was one of the things, and a cupcake. So those are wider and taller. This is long and narrow, but it is still a cylinder for the most part. So we're going to be reviewing that a little bit as we go here. But when you take your pencil and just look at it, try tilting it different directions. First, look straight on at the pencil. This is going to be a little bit hard for you to see in the camera angle, but if you look straight on, it looks like a rectangle with a pointed end, really, is what it looks like. But if you take that pencil and look just at the tip of it, like I'm looking at the tip of it, it is a circle. I mean, that cylinder is hidden behind it. So now take your pencil and just gently tip it different directions. And that cylinder shifts a little bit in the way it looks. So if you look at a pencil straight on from the end, it's a circle. But as you start to tilt it to the side, the end of that becomes an oval. And that's one of the tricks that we're going to be reviewing and looking at, is how to make that little oval end and how to make this look as if it's in different directions. So this is drawing a cylinder with a little bit of a twist as we look at it from different directions. So we're going to first just start by laying it straight down in front of us, and we're going to draw, and we're going to draw that straight, looking straight at it. So you remember I said that it really is 2 parallel lines, which is a very long rectangle. And if your lines aren't perfectly straight, don't worry about this. This is a practice time. But as you're looking at that pencil, the end is straight like this. You can't see the end at all. And then the other end has a point on it, which is technically a cone. So we're looking at that shape. We have a rectangle for the main body of the pencil, and then we have this pointed end, which in 3D is a cone. So when we look at this, we have the eraser, and then we have this little metal section that has these little rims in it. And again, we're just trying to make it look similar to the pencil. So this is that silver, on mine it's a silver end that's holding the eraser. And then on the other end, we have this little section where it goes from wood to the painted section, and where it's gone into the pencil sharpener, it's kind of a jagged edge. And then the tip is black lead. Now mine is not a perfect cylinder. It has these little lines in it where it kind of has flat edges, and if you want to draw 1 or 2 of those in, it goes the length of your pencil from the metal edge to that jagged edge. And if you have words on there that you want to put on there, you can. Mine says Universal number 2. And if I want to put that little number 2 in there, I can, some little letters here. But I love seeing how this few lines starts looking kind of 3D on a flat piece of paper. We're actually tricking your eye to see a shape here. So when the light, if you pretend like there's a light to the upper right, it's supposed to be a little sunshine, and it's shining down on this pencil, the underside of it cannot get any light. It has a little bit of shadow. So we can set our pencil on its edge, and where that is, light is being blocked, which is straight across here if you notice. And I always like smudging a little bit on the bottom part of the pencil, just a little bit, and underneath it is a little bit of shadow. All right, so that's the pencil sitting straight on. So now we're going to draw this in a couple different directions and see how you make this into a cylinder shape instead of just straight on. What I'd like you to do is take your pencil and kind of push the end maybe 2 inches away from you, and I have my pointed end to my left, so I'd like you to do that too, so that we're using the same direction so it's not confusing. So I'm moving the left end, which is the pointed end, about 2 inches away from me. Now straight on from the camera, you're still seeing it straight down, but I'm going to put a picture in here that shows you that now as I'm looking at it, it looks like those 2 lines are diagonal from me. So this end is going to be higher than this end when I draw my 2 lines. So let's just start with this part of my pencil first, just 2 parallel lines with the left side being slightly higher than the right side. I'm thinking about more than one thing at a time, so sorry about that. Okay, so as I draw this pencil now, I'm going to draw my 2 parallel lines, and again, don't freak out or anything if yours aren't real straight. But see how I kind of start with a sketch line and then I make it darker as I'm happy with it? That's what I recommend you doing. So start with a light line, and I guess you could use a ruler if you wanted to, but again, for this practice, we're just doing the best that we can. 2 parallel lines. Now technically, I'm not getting into perspective drawing. Technically, as this gets further away from me, it gets a little smaller. We're not going to worry about that right now. We're just going to draw this shape and kind of get that under our belt for right now. Okay, so I have those 2 parallel lines, but when I look at this from this end now, I can see a little bit of the end, and this is where that cylinder comes in. When I look at it from the very end, it's a circle, but when I start tipping it away, that end becomes an oval, and I can't see very much of that oval, but I can see a little bit. So I draw a little bit of an oval, and see how it has kind of a smile line on this side and a smile line on that side. So when I refer to a smile line, that's what I'm talking about. This smile line on the left is repeated down the rectangle or the 2 parallel lines, and that's what gives the illusion of it being a cylinder. Okay, so I have this next line. I'm going to match this smile line for the eraser. See how it curves and bows to the left? This becomes my eraser with the oval on the end. Can you see that? We're kind of just tricking our eyes to think that. These lines on the metal part of it, on the end of that, see how I also repeat that same bow in the line, and I'm going to draw a couple of those little ridges here. They all have the same basic bow shaped, and they have a couple little dots in there. This becomes my metal part of my pencil. Okay, so now I'm going to come down to the other end where the paint and the wooden part come together and just draw a very light line with the same bow line to it there. Okay, I'm going to add the point to it, and now where the wood meets the bare wood meets the painted wood, I'm going to make that same little bit of a jagged look there because the pencil sharpener has taken off the paint to sharpen this, and on the end I'm going to darken that like pencil lead. All right, now if you notice on your paper, it looks like this end is further away than this end just because you made those lines kind of diagonal. Kind of cool, isn't it? Now we're going to repeat that idea that we have light coming from the upper right. You can make your light source any direction that you would like it. You just have to imagine there's light coming down and it's being blocked. What blocks it? The actual pencil. And it makes a shadow on the bottom part of the pencil and on the tabletop. So I'm going to put my pencil down to the side and do this shading. And the shading here goes straight out. It does not come up underneath the pencil point because it's coming down and it's being blocked. And I put a little bit on the bottom part of my pencil. And then if I'd like to, I can also draw those lines that are also parallel that run down the pencil. And I can put any lettering on there that I want to. I'm just drawing some little squiggle lines there. I can even shade that a little bit where the metal is silver there, just to give it that look, and leave the rest. I could use colored pencils on this, but it gives the illusion of this end being further away than this end. So I'm guessing that you know what I'm going to do next. I'm going to take this pencil and I'm going to put it straight again, and then I'm going to push the eraser end about 2 inches away from me instead of the pointed end. So now the pointed end is closer and the eraser end is farther away. Okay, so now I can't see the end of the eraser anymore. I'm seeing more of the point of the pencil. Okay, so the cylinder is at a different angle from me. Again, I'm going to put a picture in here so you can see what that looks like from my perspective on this, since you're looking straight down. But now the right end looks like it's higher than the left end when I am thinking about drawing those 2 parallel lines. So again, remember, I'm tricking our eye to think something on a flat piece of paper has dimension to it. So I'm trying, this is a long cylinder, but now I can't see this end of the cylinder, and this one has been kind of cut off and is made into a point. Okay, so we're going to draw those 2 parallel lines again, but this time I'm going to draw them so that the right end is higher than the left end. So here we go. Again, don't get too perfectionist on me about these lines. Okay, I start with a sketch line and then I make it darker. You can have all different lengths of pencils. I've got some little tiny ones that I keep hanging on to. They're so short, but I still use them. Okay, so there's my 2 parallel lines that I have. Now I'm going to make that into a cylinder. But this time when I look at the end of the pencil, the smile line that I'm seeing, or I can't see the oval, the smile line bows out on that end of the cylinder. Right? So now I'm going to match that smile line all the way down the pencil, and anything that I make that I want to draw on here, I'm going to match that smile line in order to make it look like it has a curved surface. So there's the end of that eraser. See how those 2 smile lines have the same bowed shape? And then for the end of that silver part, metal, I'm going to draw another smile line. It's a sideways smile line, right? When I look this way. And then I'm going to make those little ridge lines on here. They're all the same basic bowed shape. There's the metal part of that. I'm going to come to the other end of my pencil. I'm going to go ahead and draw that point. Now remember, on this end, I still want that same basic shape. I'm just going to draw it very lightly here. And then I'm going to draw that zigzag where the painted part has been cut off by the pencil sharpener. Just kind of a jagged edge that's pretty similar to that. And then I'm going to draw, actually this even has a jagged edge to it. There's my pencil point, and then looky there, I've got that same tube shape, but now it has the illusion of this end going away from me on the surface. Alright, so just to review this a little bit, the smile lines, because I can see the end of the oval, I'm going to use this left side of the smile lines and repeat them down the pencil to give it the look of going away from me. Now, I can't see the eraser this direction, so the smile lines are going to be coming this direction all the way down the pencil to give it the curved look from this direction. So you can turn this pencil any way you want it, and the end that you can see that oval on, that's going to determine what direction those smile lines go. So now you can really technically draw this pencil in any direction. Straight on, tilted away from you, even up and down. It would be just very, very high vertical lines on the paper. If you wanted to do that, it would be going this direction to make it look like it's going up and down. Now your shadow is going to change because of that. But for now, again, let's just pretend that this shadow line is coming down on this pencil. I'm going to shade, it's laying on the table. I'm going to shade underneath it, and that shadow keeps going with that tip on the table because the tip's away from the table. So I don't put the shadow up underneath the tip, it still stays on the table. Just a little bit on the bottom side of that pencil. And then I can also draw those flat lines on here that run parallel to the pencil between the point, between the painted edge, basically. Right? So, I mean, if I want to do some shading, I can other places. I can try to make this look like metal by making it gray. I can even fill this in if I want to make it dark. Okay, it can be a dark eraser on the end or a light colored eraser. I can add a little bit of wood looking there. Okay, so this is two different directions that you could do this pencil and draw the pencil in. Now, I want to give you an exercise to try. And that is drawing pencils various different directions. This is kind of fun. So draw a circle that is about the size of a quarter on your piece of paper. Again, don't get perfectionist about this, but we're going to draw parallel lines that radiate out of this circle, different directions, as parallel as you can make them. Again, we're just practicing. And then we're going to, whoops, let me get this all the way around. Obviously it's not perfect. I'm going pretty fast here. I could do better than that. Sorry. Okay, so I've drawn these parallel lines radiating out. Then I'm going to erase this circle. And the practice that I want you to do is to make each one of these a pencil that's going these different directions. So you might want to actually get a pencil and see what it looks like in each of these different directions. Okay, so if I'm looking at it like this, I can see this oval right here. And I'm going to start drawing my smile lines going this direction. Okay, so my oval is the size of the end of those two parallel lines. It's fitting in between there. And then I'm going to use my smile lines are going to go this direction outside on the rest of the pencil. Okay, so I just drew those as to show you. Okay, so now I'm going to draw the point on the opposite end. That zigzaggy line is going to have that same smile shape. Alright, I've got those lines on there and the pencil. Voila! Okay, what does it look like from here? Okay, what if I turned it this direction and this became the point? Just have fun with this, okay? That means my eraser is going to be going the opposite direction. With some little lines like this. Okay, and my point. Have some fun and challenge yourself. Okay, I'm going to try to make these lines dark enough so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, do you see that? Now you can pretend when we're all done, we can pretend like our light source is wherever we want to make it. Okay, what would this look like if our light source is over here and coming down? What's going to block the light? Well, the light is going, on this one is going to be blocked on this side. So I'm going to do my shading over on that side of the pencil. Okay, the light is going to hit my pencil like this. So the shading is going to be on this side of the pencil over here. Cool, huh? All right, so you have some fun. Twist your pencil from side to side and practice. Remember, you are learning. Don't be hard on yourself. Enjoy this. This is pretty fun, and it's a great exercise. So let me know how it goes. Take some pictures and post them for me to see. Give me some feedback on this. I'm doing a long video for you here so I can get some good feedback and give you a little extra practice. Don't expect to draw it perfectly the first time. Do some doodling when you are listening to something somewhere. If you have some paper with you, if you're on the phone or whatever, doodle. Just put a pencil down and do a doodle on your paper, and you will get better and better and better at your sketching and drawing. So this is how to sketch a pencil, how to draw a pencil by WelcomeToNanas.com, and I have lots of other drawing tutorials for you with other shapes. So come on over to the website, subscribe, and join the fun. We are having a great time, and there's so much to learn. And when you learn these different shapes and how to draw them, all of a sudden you're going to start noticing whatever you look at, oh, well, this is a cube. This is a cylinder, and you can start seeing how you can draw these objects that you want to draw by putting these shapes together. So, thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.